Hey screeners, it's myself, the 1AJ, Anthony Jordan.
And Double V, the Viceroy, Verisimilitude, and the almighty No Time to Die James Bond hater, Nico Lurot.
008, yeah? That's your new code, yeah?
That's it.
008. Yeah. Sorry, I'm I don't know who's actually up on my Facebook at this time. It's a late one for the screeners, but I'm just going to press the share button on my phone so whoever's watching us can share it.
Share away, my bro.
That's the
We've
one.
already got a comment come in. I bet it's Dan saying first. Got it. I didn't even read that one. I knew he was going to do that. Love it.
I'm call him douchey because he said those douches who used to do that. So I'm not calling Den a douche by any means, but he said those douchey people used to do that. So big up your douche.
Let's go. Brandon is here too. Hey, fellas. Hey. Brandon, great to have you back. Thank you for joining us once again, buddy. Great to see you here. We'll repeat this a few times throughout the show, guys, but what the topic we're doing today, towards the end of the show, because we obviously discovered last week on our streaming service that when we say to you guys, hey, put your guys' top 10 in the comments and we'll read them out. Yeah, it doesn't allow us to scroll back that far.
It's all to do with the interaction. You guys were active. You guys were active last week, man. So even StreamYard was like, That was it.
StreamYard went full on Gandalf. You shall not pass.
Yeah, there was a line there. There was a line there. So, guys, do as you said, we are going for fictional gangsters. So, guys, by fictional, it means they aren't. But we've done real life gangsters. So, please, guys, we don't want the original. Anyway, we won't get into that film because it probably will come up. But I don't want to hear about Black Mass or Untouchables, or these are portrayals of real life gangsters. Paid in Full is another one that couldn't work. I was actually really pissed I forgot that for real life gangsters. Straight Out of Compton, whichever way you want to play it, if the person is real,
motherfucking E.
Yeah. Another one that crossed my mind because I nearly went for it myself was The Departed. The Departed doesn't count because Frank Costello was a real gangster, but yes, this one was of Irish descent, but he is also a portrayal of Whitey, so it was
a weird one, that wasn't it? I only discovered that today when Frank Costello was like, oh, he's a real. I always thought that he was just like a fictional depiction of Whitey Bulger. No, apparently he was like the guy.
But this is it. But he's Whitey, so the portrayal of that Frank Costello is of Whitey Bulger. But then the name Frank Costello is borrowed from a real gangster in itself. So I was like, for fuck's sake! I mean, it's meta as hell. But
is Road to Perdition a gangster movie, Brandon? Absolutely, it's a gangster movie.
There we are. Okay. So, thank you, Brandon. This is what it's all about. So the interaction's there. Again, feel free to make your lists. A bit later on, we'll give you guys a bit of a warning of now's the time to submit your Rushmores. Hey, we've got some love. Appreciate that. So we're in the house and we're doing top 10 gangster movies. One, because we once we done the real life gangsters, it was an idea of ours, and then coincidentally, our man on the right had another film review to do, and it all seemed to have tied in. So there we are.
Yeah, I did a right side of the theater reaction and a 27 odd minute long review for The Many Saints of Newark. And spoiler alert, it's not going to make this top 10 list. I talk about my full feelings about The Many Saints of Newark. Please go check out the video. It's up on the channel now. In need of a bit of love because it hasn't even cracked 100 views, which worries me deeply because it's like people that clearly only want to see us talk about James Bond. But Mixed Memorabilia is here too. What's up, guys? Great to have you here, Mixed Memorabilia. And shout out to Mixed Memorabilia on Twitter at Mixed Memorabilia. Looking forward to the show, guys. Please point out to the viewers that Gangs of Wasaper 1 and 2 is not a Bollywood movie. It's groundbreaking, gritty, no holds barred Indian cinema. I said I would do it. I have done it. Brandon then says, my gangster list is going to be weird. I prefer Hong Kong gangster movies. Good. Nothing wrong with that. And nothing weird about that.
We, the silver screen dudes, live for edutainment. So I can't say I know a lot of them. No. But anyway.
Nah, you do. Yeah. You definitely know some Hong Kong gangster movies, 100%.
I'm just saying, a lot. A lot. And that's why I kind of paused and was like, did I forget one? But hey. I did.
You'd either top 10. Your list is never complete.
Well, listen, this is why we say revisited. Like next season might just be season 5 revisited. Every episode we've done, like the catalog has keeps
Yeah,
expanding.
it's another top 10.
Yeah.
Riri Thomas is back too. This will be interesting. Hope you're both good. Riri, even better now that you're here. So thank you so much for tuning in. Really appreciate you and everyone else who's joined. I'm just a small little disclaimer that I'm going to put out again. So I saw that our top 10 James Bond movies, because there was so much interaction, which was a blessing, that went on for nearly 3 hours. We're going to try and keep this one a little bit tighter. I will keep my eye on the comment section and I will bring up and address all the comments that come through. That goes without saying. But it's not going to be as we're talking. Oh, here's a comment. We're going to finish what we're saying and then we'll get to the comment just to give the show a bit of an attempted smoother run.
Yeah, guys, you got to bear with us. We are like we this all started off without interaction. StreamYard has permitted us the facility to do it, so we're like, oh my god, reaction! Like we're happy for it. So it's
people are actually listening to us. Holy shit!
This is it. So the format isn't exactly in place. Like even between Tuesdays, Wednesdays, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, like it's still finding its place in this world. But we will like, and then you know what? Next month it might just blow it all out the window. But we won't even get into that just yet. Yeah. So
YG's in the house too.
Yeah, Eunice, how you doing, bro?
Looking forward to your list, Eunice. Thank you for joining us, bro.
Again, Eunice, looking forward to your list, bro. Just a bit later on in the show, so it's there. Yeah.
And Dan says I'm here for 1 hour live. All right, cool. Well, I don't think we're going to do it in an hour, but we'll try and keep it to like an hour and a half.
I've never seen any Rushmore ever be done in an hour, and this was before interaction. Now that we have interaction,
it's so difficult.
Yeah.
Well, let's not keep wasting time and keeping our viewers waiting. Let's actually start talking about some fucking movies.
It's time to talk some movies.
That's it, Road Dog.
If you listen to the Spotify version of this, you would know what we're talking about.
But we're here, we're live. So how does the show work? AJ and I each get assigned a topic. We go our separate ways. We come right back here into recording and deliver to you, the silver screen dudes, our individual top 10s. This week, to let him recover after his Bondism last week, AJ is going to go first, delivering his bottom 3. Then I will deliver my bottom 3. AJ will deliver his next 2. I will deliver my next 2. And then we will trade our top 5, one apiece. If at any time while we are rounding off our individual top 10 list, one person has a movie in a higher position, that person will say,
punt.
And we will punt and talk about that movie when we get to the high position. Once we have both rounded off our individual top 10s, we will then ask all of you watching live what your favorite top 10 gangster movies are, fictional gangster movies, and then we will create the movie Mount Rushmore. These are the 4 quintessential diverse must-see movies of the genre, which this week is
top 10 fictional gangsters. Right, I'm still debating my number 8, by the way, but yeah, we won't get into that. In at number 10, it's one of my favorites, and I know you still haven't seen it. I'm talking. It's comedy. It's not one of the world's greatest gangsters, but any chance I get to talk about this film, I will do. I'm talking Sylvester Stallone as Angelo Snaps Provolone in Oscar. And yet, again, that silence, you still haven't seen the film. So it's just one of those films I loved as a kid. Watched it once about 2 years back, and I was like, oh my God, it's not as good. Watched it last year with the missus during lockdown. Loved it all over again. So Oscar is a film about Snaps Provolone, Angelo Provolone, who is a big mobster, as you could tell, in the era of Prohibition, who's the father's dying wishes, go clean, go straight. And he is trying his very best to enter the world of banking, but every time he's trying to get out of it, there's a mishap, and all of his guys around him, which I will bring back up.
Is that Chaz Palminteri over his left shoulder? Do I see Chaz Palminteri there?
From The Mask, yeah?
No.
I believe
Chaz
so. I wouldn't know his actual real name. The Mask. The detective in The Mask, yeah?
I actually didn't even recognize him, but yeah, that is him. No, Chaz Palminteri. I can't mention the other movie he's famous for. Actually, yes, I can. He was the Paul Vidi's opposite number in Analyze This, another fictional gangster movie, which might coming up,
Yeah,
but I have a feeling you would have forgotten about it.
yeah, yeah. As always, I bloody hate myself for
You always
forgetting
forget
analyze
it.
this.
You
Analyze
always
that.
forget
I
analyze
choose to
this.
forget. I choose to forget analyze that. But hey, analyze this. I'm always hurt that I forget it. And I was trying to be. My God. Anyway, yeah. So it's all about Angelo just trying to go straight. Will he? Will he not? Then there's the story of him finding out that his daughter's pregnant and she needs to get married. It's a madness. It's a whole cross wires of different stories and situations, but it always gives me a bit of a laugh. So I had to bring that one in there. Not Sylvester Stallone's best movie, but I always love it. Yeah. I will always bring it up.
Den says, I'll be watching the entire show. I love this show, and then we love you, bro.
We love you, Den. Thank you very much.
But now here's the thing, AJ. I need to put it over to the people watching who are either watching with us live or who are going to be watching later on. Have you seen Oscar? And what did you think of Sylvester Stallone in a gangster capacity?
I would actually like to see how many people have seen Oscar. It was released in like 91. It's a comedy. There we go. Right, in at number 9.
Brandon knows. Love Chaz Palminteri and Bullets Over Broadway and the Bronx Tale. I still need to see a Bronx Tale, you know.
I haven't seen it either. Hands up.
Chaz and Robert De Niro. And apparently Chaz kind of takes De Niro to town in the acting department. Let me know if that's true, Brandon. But yeah, that's really one I need to see. Pronto. So yeah, your number 9, please, AJ.
Right, in at number 9, because there are 3 things that are guaranteed in life.
Death, taxes, and AJ talking about comic book movies.
Yeah, there we are. Right, this one, the film is shit, but the guy represented big time. R.I.P. to Michael Clarke Duncan as the Kingpin in Daredevil. Guys, it's the Kingpin I'm talking about, not the film.
We all saw this on my 16th birthday, didn't we?
We did indeed.
Jesus fucking Christ.
I don't even want to think about it. Well, yeah, you know what? Screw it. Let's bring up the poster again because it has the year 2003.
Damn.
Yeah. So
thanks for letting the whole world know how old I am, AJ. Appreciate that one.
Okay, I'm 2 years older. Screw it. I was about to say that. However old he is, add 2 to me. But yeah, I really like the portrayal of Michael Clarke Duncan. I think he played Kingpin to the point, and I joked about it back then. And
I was going to say, do you remember what you said when we came out the cinema? Because this was in a pre-woke age. This was when it was still okay to question. I mean, looking back on it, I probably shouldn't have questioned this shit.
It wasn't a questioning, but listen, you pick any comic book, whether it be Spider-Man, whether it be Daredevil, whether it be what you saw in the cartoons, it was a big white dude. And yeah, I loved what he'd done, but we have a black Kingpin, and I remember looking at you and saying, dude, tell me it's not going to be a big black man who runs the streets of New York. And you're like, good point.
It's so true. It's so true. Although I have to say, I love what Vincent D'Onofrio did with the role in the Daredevil.
He was good. He was good. He was dark. He was twisted. You could see the conflict that was in that Kingpin, which I think was absolutely amazing. And while we're on the subject of TV villains, gangsters, had we done film and TV, Ghost, aka James St. Patrick from Power, would have been my number 1, no questions asked. But hey, this is all about film. But what Vincent done in the Netflix series was huge. I've heard rumors while we're tangenting, that Kristen Scott is actually going to be back as Jessica Jones under a Disney Plus banner. So I'm not too sure if everyone else may get their own show.
With that.
Oh, so am I.
Happy with that.
I would love to see.
I've also heard rumors that Charlie Cox is meant to be reprising his Daredevil role at some point. I don't believe that he's showing up in the Spider-Man movie, just FYI. I don't buy that. It
would be good for giggles and, you know.
It'd be great.
It would be amazing.
Don't act like as if I wouldn't be happy. I'd be super happy, but I just don't see it coming. I don't buy for a minute that hand you see off screen slamming down the papers. Oh, Matt Murdock. It's like, yeah.
It's one of those things.
I'd like it to be, but I don't think so.
But that relationship has always been there. Like, again, this is me going back to the Fox Kids. I remember Spider-Man and Matt Murdock, like Peter Parker and Matt Murdock on the cartoon. Like, who else could be his lawyer? Peter could barely afford a lawyer.
Here we go. Foggy.
Yeah, but then
that's just who I think it is. But just think about how Kevin Feige weaves a Marvel tapestry. He never throws you something straight through. It's like, here, Daredevil, have fun. It's like, no. You have to earn that shit. You have to go to multiple cinema viewings and give him your money to see the characters you like. You'll be
But
teased. They'll put fuck in there
he
being like,
would do
hey,
that.
it's the same world as Daredevil. Do you want to see him? Do you want to see him? Well, see the next movie, asshole. That'll
He
be
would
it.
do that. He would do that. However, this is Sony's banner, and they're like, we just want to make the money. We want to show we're still part of this world. Bring him. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's a tough one.
Speaking of Daredevil, the TV show, Riri says Daredevil TV show is god tier. I mean, yeah, I hear that all day long.
It's awesome. All kinds
And
of
Mixed
awesome.
Memorabilia says a Bronx Tale is brilliant, but Chaz Palminteri portrays a real gangster Sonny who he himself knew as a kid. Whoa, shit. That's cool.
Damn.
Love Mixed Memorabilia for these brilliant little snippets of information that we get. Seriously, if you're not following Mixed Memorabilia, if you're a movie fan and you're on Twitter, follow at Mixed Memorabilia, please. Like, dude knows his stuff. Like, really knows his stuff. Right, what's your number 8, AJ?
Right, yeah. So, but again, Michael Clark Duncan was awesome. Do you know what? No, I'm going to go with the second one just because I didn't want to go. I'm not using the same actor twice. So I'm going to go with my second number 8. I've literally had 2 uploaded. I'm going with the Joker. Now, I've put up all 3 pictures.
Shush and punt.
Cool. No problem. Over to you, sir.
Right. My number 10. People are going to maybe be angry at me with this one. Hang on, just before I get into it. Dan, have you all seen Venom? No, mate. I'm seeing
2
it
days early. No, how?
Well, I'm seeing it this Friday. And there will be a review for Venom out also this Friday. And
lucky
then,
for some, they finish work on time to be able to hit the cinema because I don't finish till 8. There's no chance of me doing a review anytime.
There's definitely late screenings of it, but there is also I managed to get into a press screening of June on Monday, so there'll also be a review for that going up a little bit later. Right, so. In at number 10 is a movie I feel I'm going to have to defend because people are going to be like, really? You're pulling that? That's not a gangster. Actually, yes, it is. Because in at number 10, from the Star Wars world, Jabba the Hutt. Jabba the Hutt is my number 10. Now, the Hutts are very, very clearly portrayed as gangsters throughout the Star Wars movies. 100% they're gangsters. I believe it's in episode 1, Qui-Gon Jinn. Is it Qui-Gon Jinn? Maybe it's Padme Amidala. Someone in the circle of Jedis who we're focusing on in episode 1 says very clearly the Hutts are gangsters. They are literally referred to by the G word. They are called gangsters. Like the movie calls them gangsters. And I'm sorry, it's a pretty gangster move if we're looking at things to have robots come and be your bitch slaves, then throw a Jedi down a pit to be fed to a Rancor, and have a smuggler frozen in carbonite hanging on your wall as a kind of trophy. That man's quite gangster, you know, in the kind of street cred version of this world, of this word. Jabba the Hutt's gangster. But yeah, getting real, Jabba the Hutt's my number 10 because he's referred to as a gangster. I think he does some gangster shit throughout the movie. I maintain that
he has that Kingpin element to him. I can't really deny.
He really does. Like, he's got a whole entourage of people. He literally has a gang protecting him. Like, yeah.
And as the picture showed, he has the women around him too. Like, it kind of portrays most of the stuff that in a box ticking world, it's there.
You know what I mean? It's like, you take this out of the Star Wars world and just make him a real person, just in the gangster. Yeah. Jabba the Hutt is absolutely a gangster and from one of the biggest series of all time. So, of course, I had to mention him. Right. In at number 9.
Frodo from the Shire. Sorry.
Fuck you. Oh shit! If someone here's a question for the comment section. If anyone in the Lord of the Rings franchise was a gangster, who would it be, and why? Sound off. That I actually want to hear people think a bit laterally about that one. Who would be the gangster if we were in the Lord of the Rings world? It's definitely not Gandalf. I kind of feel it would be Elrond. I kind of feel it would be the elf sitting in his, ivory tower. Not literal tower, I know, before you come at me, Lord of the Rings fans. But sitting in his proverbial ivory tower saying, go and do that shit for me. Like, I kind of feel Elrond's a bit of a gangster. But anyway, you let me know who you guys think. So yeah, in at number 9, not Frodo from the Shire, funny fucker. But I had to bring in. So I'm going with Pulp Fiction here. But it's a very hard. But are you about to punt me?
It depends. Well, it depends who the character is, really.
Well, no. If you've got Pulp Fiction, punt me, and we'll talk about the movie when we get to it.
All right, punt. I was torn between characters in Pulp Fiction as well, by the way.
Biffa the dwarf. Biffa. That's Bomber's brother, isn't it? That's a deep pull, Brandon. Well done for knowing that name. Biffa the.
Oh my God, Brandon, I actually love you because you have got Nico stumped on freaking Lord of the Rings. I did not believe it. Like the way that would be a pull. I did not think that was possible.
No, he's got me on that one. I'm pretty sure Biffa was part of Thorin Oakenshield's party, and I'm pretty sure. No, it is Biffa, Bofa, and Bomber. They were all the 3 brothers in. Yeah, Biffa, Bofa, Bomber, Philly, Killy. Yes, okay, I'm with you again, Brandon. You got me for a second there. Biffa the dwarf's a good shout. If we were gonna. No, we'll go. Biffa the dwarf works. I'm happy with that. That's a good answer. Right. So you've punted my number 9. In at number 8 is from one of my top 5 movies of all time. Don Vincenzo from True Romance.
This, honestly, it's only because Christopher Walken comes in again. This was the one that I was torn in my number 8s with. I was legit torn in 2 places for my number 8. I actually thought you was going to go Draxel. I'm not going to lie. I thought that's who you was going to go for.
Can I be real? I nearly went with Drexel. Here's the thing. What's the best scene in the movie?
Well, for me, this is the thing. For me, this guy.
It's for everyone, mate. That terror scene between Christopher Walken and Dennis Hopper. R.I.P. to Dennis Hopper and equally R.I.P. to the aforementioned Michael Clark Duncan. It's one of the all-time great dialogue exchanges in cinema history. It really, really is. Like, they set the scene so fucking brilliantly. And what I love about it, this is gangster in its purest form. Because until the culmination of the scene, Don Vincenzo hardly does anything. Like, he gives him a twat in the face, but that's pretty much it. You know you're a gangster when one of your henchmen looks at you and all you do is... And then the next thing you know, a man's hand is being sliced open. It's like
that. It's all of those bits, and it's you know
power.
what told you he was at that again. No, not the Michael Clark Duncan. When I say this, you knew he was at Kingpin level when it was like, for the past 20 years, I have not killed anybody personally,
right?
But you,
yeah. Literally, he pushes him that far, and it's that's again another reason why I think he's Yeah, Drexel's definitely a gangster, and don't get me wrong, Gary Oldman steals the screen when he's on there. But it's the power that Don Vincenzo commands in that scene. And guys, for anyone, if I implore you, if you haven't seen True Romance, do not let the title put you off. Do not let the first 5 to 10 minutes, which are hyper over the top, unbelievable romanticism, hey, you're a hooker. Hey, I fell in love with you. Sorry, call girl. I fell in love with you. It's like, swallow that unbelievability and then get ready for one hell of a ride.
Listen, it's not that I'm shitting on True Romance by any means.
No, please don't.
Really like the film. But if for anything else, I'm going to bring up your image because it's actually screw it because I had it as well. Like this moment. This moment, people, like, if again, guys, if you're listening on pod, tune in. Like that showdown between Christopher Walken and Dennis Hopper is it's tension. It's tension at its highest degree. Like this is what acting is about. This is what film and cinema is about. Like, you honestly need to witness that. The rest of it, like, yeah, you may not like it, you may love it. You may, you could go either way, but that right needs to be seen.
It does. And what I love is that it's although you can tell that no matter the outcome, you know in this scene Hopper's fucked. Yeah. But it's how he chooses to go out swinging, not physically, but he outdoes him up here. And it's a very hard thing to outdo that when a guy's just said to you, I'm Sicilian. Hey, we got ways of telling when people are lying, you know? And it's the whole men have got 16 tails. Women have got 17. Men have got 16. And it's the whole breakdown of how he goes through his family lineage, how they're world-class liars. My grandfather, world-class liar. My father, his son. It's such a Christopher Walken thing, isn't it? My father, his son. It's like, yes, yeah, I assume there was that connection. My father, his son, world-class.
Sorry, bro, give me 2
world-class
seconds.
liar.
I've just had a small
What's happening?
situation I need to deal with. Yeah, fixed. Yeah, I'm back.
That was quick.
Someone just needed a charger. They left their charger on the other side
All right,
of my
cushy.
car. Oh, okay.
But yeah, it's through that. And remember how he starts this whole thing going, I'm getting really tired of asking the same question twice. That despite the fact that almost comedic delivery he delivers with the whole, hey, we're world-class liars, you can tell there's serious, not fear, there's serious power behind those words. I'm getting tired of asking the same question more than once or twice or whatever it was. But the way Hopper flips on him going, you're Sicilian. So you're a black guy. It's like, what? and you can see it floors Christopher Walken. Is like, come again?
And I think it's the two levels of it. One, it's the boldness of what you're saying, but two, it's also that sort of thing. Is normally people are either just gonna accept their fate. People normally accept their fate, and this guy's still pushing the limit. It's like, if I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna go out swinging, and it's just
it's beautiful. It is one of my all-time favorite scenes in cinema. YG says the True Romance cast is an absolute joke. Yeah.
It's insane.
So Eunice, YG, way back, I think it was season 1 or 2, we did a top 10 of the best ensemble casts, and True Romance was, I think, the winner of that. Mixed Memorabilia has said True Romance is another brilliant film, not surprising, written by Tarantino. Yeah, written by Tarantino, directed by Tony Scott, and Riri Thomas. Saruman is a mob boss. I can kind of go with that one too. That works for me. To war! Right, AJ, what is your number 7?
Right, in at number 7 for me. Sorry, where are we now? Now, this is going to be sacrilegious. Probably going to be a punt. Yeah,
I've got my finger ready.
It's in the trilogy of gangster movies with Al Pacino and Robert De Niro. I'm talking The Godfather. So it's in the film, but it's probably right. It's not the one that most people go for. So you're right.
That's a punt.
Okay.
That is an absolute punt. Mixed Memorabilia says anyone for Samuel L. Jackson and Jackie Brown. Odell Roby. It was so close.
Listen, again, I didn't want to double up on actors, and
that's another thing.
That's I really tried to avoid it. Again, the same reason for Christopher Walken, just as I said with True Romance. There's another film he's in, so I kept quiet, and that was the other one. But the other Samuel L. Jackson gangster was just like, no, I couldn't avoid it. I couldn't avoid it. So
kind of where I've gone to.
Yeah,
so it's a good thing you punted me. So I've punted you on The Godfather in your number 7. What is your number 6?
Right, now it's time to bring it to the UK. I'm talking the man himself, straight out of Snatch. I'm going to leave it there. Are we punting?
Punt.
Okay, fuck me. That was 7 and 6. Over to you, sir. Then you might be lucky. This could be an hour.
Well, my 7 was the minor punt we had from earlier. I'm talking the Joker.
Do you know, I really toyed with this because I've got 3 comic book characters.
2 things for sure in life. There you go.
I didn't want it to be free. I really didn't want it to be free, but then I outweighed it with the double actor. If you had to pick a Joker, which way are you going?
None of the movies.
So I kind of toyed with the animation. Dark
if I
Knight.
had to pick a Joker, when was Joker at his worst? So I think the animations have always been more hardcore than the movie depictions of him. Always. It's a toss-up. The Dark Knight Returns, when he pushes Batman so far that he almost, he puts a freaking batarang in his eye. He gets let out of the asylum to appear on a TV show and then goes full beast mode on everyone. I mean, that when he breaks the coffee mug, slams it down, and then slits the guy's throat open, it's like, ha. Here's the thing. He's more of a wild, crazy man, as he always is. This is a bit of a reach, but work with me on this. To define a gangster, I think you need to have a gang around you, surely.
You know, this was my problem. And that's why I had to dismiss The Dark Knight. I thought he was too comedic in the original Batman. And that's why,
Although
it or not,
that's definitely valid for him being a gangster.
yeah, but I actually went with Jared Leto's one.
He's 100% a gangster.
That's
100%.
the thing. And that's why I stopped with that image. Because then I even thought of the excuse me, Joaquin Phoenix one. But then with that one, it's near the end that he builds followers, but not necessarily a gang. So I was like, that's
he's more of you're right. He's almost more of a cult leader. Can I tell you the Joker I'd pick? I would probably go for Under the Red Hood. He is hardcore as fuck in that one.
That's a very
there's literally a scene where he's got his gang surrounding a police vehicle, one of those armored police vehicles. He climbs up on top of the police vehicle, pours gasoline in it, and sets the fuckers on fire alive. And it's like, yeah, Joker's a bad man in this. But although a lot of people didn't like the movie depiction of this, you could also go for what's it called? I've literally just lost it. Old age is showing. Guys, help me in the comment section. The cover of the Joker where he's got the camera. It's the one where he paralyzes
Killing
Barbara
Joke.
Gordon. Killing Joke. Thank me. Fuck me.
Fuck you. How dare you put it out there to everyone on comments like I don't know that at least. If there's going to be one if there was one film I could have given you
your comics, but you've got patchy knowledge in some parts. Like there's some classics you haven't read or watched. So how am I to know? And the Killing Joke. No.
At least say,
have you read the Killing Joke?
Leave me alone.
That's my point.
It's a film podcast. Why are we talking about reading? What's words? The only words we're willing to read are comments. Leave it at that. It's not that I can't read. I'm not illiterate, but it's
Speaking of comments, then Let's Go Brandon says, my Joker was Cesar Romero. Hey, bro, you fly that flag. Love a bit of 60s classics.
Listen, I have the movie. I have that Batman movie. It was an inspiration to a lot of stuff I've done. Romero was good. He was awesome for me on TV, but could I ever call him my Joker when I've had the likes of Heath Ledger? I don't know. But yeah, I get it.
I'm going to pick
Under
the Red Hood.
He was my first Joker. As I said, I toyed with animation. I forgot about Red Hood, if I'm honest, and it was more Leto because he had the gangster elements that we'd be looking for, and that even though he's not my favorite Joker, all the elements that you'd be looking for to make the Joker a gangster is in there. What you got in The Dark Knight, all the influence, him dealing around the mob bosses was there, but he was one man just putting all the other gangs to sleep, and that's why I couldn't really make him that.
Well, you say that, but in The Dark Knight, he does take over the gangs. He
takes them over, but like they're under his control.
He's the head gangster.
It's a weird one. I toyed with it because I'm like, he's there, but he still operated alone. He literally took their money just to burn it in front of them. You know, it was like it was a weird one. He was,
and as he was burning the money, what did he say? All your men now work for me.
This is true. But it was still like such a one-man gang. I was just toyed with it, and that's where Leto just nailed it. But we are talking the Joker, and he's like 7 and 8, so I don't know how likely he is to be Rushmore. He may be.
Nah, he's not going to be Rushmore. Come on.
There we are. Okay, so that was
my 7. My 6, I'm pretty sure Mixed Memorabilia, who's watching, is going to be happy with this one. Andy Hart is definitely going to be happy with this one.
And AJ's not going to know it.
Very possibly. AJ should know it because it's fucking great. But my number 6 is Nikolai, played by Viggo Mortensen from Eastern Promises.
No, I can't even say I've heard of it, which is sad.
Very sad. British film. Violent as all hell. Like, hyper violent. Vincent Cassel is also in this. So Viggo and Vincent together in a movie. So you're not doing badly there. And Mixed Memorabilia. I'm not sure I want to put that comment up. Just big. Eastern Promises. So Mixed Memorabilia. I just want to say I've seen your comment. The answer that I'm giving you is yes, but I'm not going to put the comment up. I mean, you can read the comments down below if you want, guys, but I'm not going to put the comment up yet because it might be making AJ's list. Might be.
So it's not. And
very good.
I actually toyed with that myself. I did toy with it. I did really very much toy with that idea.
Can a policeman be a gangster? Just to show you that there is no tomfoolery going on here. Let me actually bring up my list for you guys, because you'll see, bear with me, please. You will see that my first honorable, right there at the top, Denzel, Training Day.
Yeah.
So can a policeman be a gangster, Denzel Washington in Training Day? Hell yeah.
I mean, he was corrupted, but he didn't have.
He's a gangster. Behave.
Yeah, they were working for him. There's no in between.
He was fronting as a policeman. He was literally the definition of the only thing that sometimes separates a policeman and a gangster is the badge. Here you go.
Do you know there was one other person in a very similar role? I'm kind of tired of bringing it up, to be honest. Gary Oldman in. I'm hoping that wasn't in your list. Leon.
I'm drawing a blank here, mate.
Gary Oldman in Leon.
Oh, Gary Oldman in Leon. Sorry, I didn't hear Leon. Yeah, absolute gangster. Most definitely. Had you I mean, you bring it up a lot over the course of our seasons, but valid. Most definitely valid. But yeah, and Let's Go Brandon agrees with us. There's a thin line between gangster and law enforcement. Damn straight. So, Eastern Promises. I'm going to have to pull from memory here. What I remember about... I've only seen this movie once, and it was when it first came out. But I remember watching this movie going, Jesus fucking Christ. It's violent. It feels... You know when a movie just nails something and it feels organic and real and it doesn't feel ham-fisted? Eastern Promises through and through. It's literally the Russian mafia and how they run London. And, bro, it's a thing of fear, and it's... Nikolai, played by Viggo, getting in on the Russian life, essentially. Vincent Cassel plays the son of the head honcho, I believe, and Nikolai just goes full on into this mob world. I mean, to the degree where he gets the Vorivi Zakonia stars tattooed on his knees and shoulders. So that's means you're quite high up. I think there's this brilliant scene. It's quite hard to watch, where he's in a shower room, fully naked. So you see Viggo Mortensen and his personal tripod, because he's hung.
He's done that a few times. He's also done it in that film that Den will talk about, the one where he's got the kids. Den, I can't remember the name of it again.
A History of Violence?
No. He lives like a very humanitarian not naturist life, but a very alternative lifestyle.
Okay.
Yeah. It's quite a good
Amish.
Film.
So Amish.
It's not. You can't offend them because they're not watching TV or listening. But
I know. It's a beautiful thing, isn't it?
Yeah. They live a different life. It's one of those films that actually quite shocked me. But yeah, we're not talking about his junk. We're talking about his films. So continue. Shower scene.
Yeah, so there's speaking of his junk, so this scene, he's in a shower room and it goes into a full-on bloody knifing battle between him and 3 other guys. Now, there's something very, very, very vulnerability-inducing when I'm sure that women feel like this if they were to watch the scene too, but I cannot speak for women, obviously. As a man watching that scene, seeing someone attacked violently while they're naked and highly vulnerable made me feel vulnerable as fuck.
There's a vulnerability about it. There is. It's weird, essentially, but it does just make you feel that bit more. Yeah, vulnerable is the word. I was going to find something else, but it is
powerful cinema moment, that one. And YG asks, do undercover gangsters count? Most definitely they do. As long as you can make an argument for them, they count, bro. Right, AJ, that was my 6. So we are now trading one apiece, guys. The show's actually going faster than I thought. What is your number 5?
I don't know if you remembered this one. You were the one who introduced me to this gangster. It's a lady. And I'm sorry. John, right, no, I was waiting for... We'll hit those in a minute. I'm talking about Mama from Dredd.
Oh, great shout.
Yeah.
Great shout.
Yeah. You introduced me to this villain here. Good. So good. She the former prostitute turned head honcho, if you would. She has a whole gang in this block, which Judge Dredd is on his way to try and find her. But my God, does she own those people? Does she get up to gangsters? Can she torture people?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And boy, does she meet a convincing ending.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Slow-mo, throw you off the top floor. Oh, I mean, that's a horrible way to go, isn't it? That's horrible. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I believe that's for Mama. Great one.
Definitely directed at you.
Next memorabilia, Johnny Boy, De Niro in Mean Streets.
It counts, but it didn't make it. And Raul Silva from Skyfall, I would say, was a good for an outside choice. Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah. Javier Bardem, love that choice. So I'm quite angry I didn't put Mama on, but I was trying to not go too comic book movie on this one. But that, as Den said, is a damn good choice.
I just, when I thought of it, I was like, yeah, she was vicious, violent. She's got a mob behind her. She takes no crap. She's selling drugs. She's definitely killing. Like, she ticks all the boxes for a gangster. So.
And she sets up the line, "Mama's not the law. I am the law." Oh, God. Like,
it's one of those
I know
things
that we had the Stallone. I know that we had the Stallone Judge Dredd movie, but I'm sorry. When Sly showed up, despite the fact that he's got the chiseled jawline to suit the helmet, first off, that helmet should never ever come off Judge Dredd. That was sacrilege. Taking the helmet off Judge Dredd is just a few steps lower than killing James Bond. It's not too far to say. Oh shit! You haven't seen it.
You're good. I'm gonna put it out there.
Sorry, I'm so sorry.
No,
I'm so sorry.
It's not even for me because a couple of spoilers have come my way. We got a comment come through from someone who saw one of your reviews I was reading. I was like, fuck. And then I've got a friend at work. She was like, I've seen it. I didn't like it. Again, I'm not going to, you know what? I will apologize to anyone watching who didn't know. But she said it to me, you know, I'm like, oh, my friend hated it for a specific reason. Let me know what you thought. So I see her on Monday. Oh, it was good, but I cried when they killed. I was like, for fuck's sake, like, do I need to keep getting a reminder of this? So it's
cried when they killed him. I do not have enough internet bandwidth to tell you how wrong that statement is. There's nothing to cry about. There's nothing. They treated it like it. Oh, let's control the anger.
But shout out to John.
I feel like fucking Tom Green in here's a deep pull. I feel like Tom Green in fucking Road Trip. Unleash the fury, Mitch. Like,
I was never a Tom Green fan, so like that.
No, nor me. But I remember that line. It made me laugh. Unleash the fury. Let's go. Brandon says, I'm in shock. No one mentioned Immortan Joe from Mad Max Fury Road. AJ might be bringing him up. I bring up Mad Max Fury Road way too much on this show, Brandon. It was so I have to ease up on that.
Mad Max did cross my mind. I'm not going to lie, but don't get me wrong. I know I took some cheese fest at my bottom two, but I had to mention those because I don't get a chance to make that any other time. And I just didn't find a spot for Mad Max in this list. I'm not going to lie. Mad Max did cross my mind, but I just didn't have space for Mad Max.
I had space for Mad Max, but I've got to be... It's going to turn into a pretty stale show if every week AJ brings up a comic book movie and Leon, and every week I bring up Star Wars and freaking Mad Max. You know, it's got to be a bit diverse. So just for the sake of everyone who's been listening with us since season 1, like, I can't keep bringing up Fury Road. It's just not right.
There are ways to connect films in any given way, and trust me, where you have a list and you've got a week to think about it, you can make an excuse for it to be on the list if you want it to be.
Oh, you
Short
can.
Of Jurassic Park being sci-fi, but we won't get into that. But yeah, you can find ways to make it. If you really want it to, it could be in there. Like it does. So we kind of try to dial it down in places. Apart from if it's a kind of, oh, I forgot about that. Kind of like Mama. Like, we have brought up Dredd enough times, but it was like, oh, who thought of her? Like, that's kind of the game I play.
The movie fans that we seem to have attracted to the show, and indeed to our little very small stratosphere of filmdom, really seem to know their stuff. But just in case, I'm going to share this nugget of information that I brought up with people in the past. Did you know that Dredd is essentially a complete copy and paste of an Indonesian movie called The Raid, which I thoroughly suggest you all go and see. Now,
The Raid nearly, I was, again, for the same reasons, I was like, do I look for the villain in The Raid? But I was like, I prefer Mama. Mama was serious. So, yeah.
I don't know, man. Mad Dog from The Raid was an awesome villain.
I'm not saying no, but I just, yeah.
All right. So that was your 5. So my 5 now, yeah?
Yeah.
So the punt from earlier, Bricktop from Snatch, had to bring him in.
You can't not do Bricktop, man. He's this small, diminutive man with huge glasses. I mean, let's just look at his face again. He looks like a live version of the guy from Up. If you were going to go for it, he is.
Oh God, he does too.
But he is so far from different. Like they could not be worlds apart. Like,
Someone needs to do that edit. Bricktop laid over Up. Oh my God! Because they already did it for Star Wars. Have you seen that one?
Yeah.
Darth Vader Bricktop, amazing. Yeah. Like if you haven't seen that, guys, go and treat yourself. I'm sure you have. Go watch it again, just because it's that funny. Some editing genius needs to do Bricktop overlaid in Up. That's just fuck me. Your girlfriend got a voice. Jesus Christ.
That would just take such a dark turn.
You know what I mean?
It would be golden. It would be absolutely golden. You could just see him saying that to the kid. It would just be.
Yeah, Riri Thomas says would have been called Screwed Up, indeed.
So much, so badly.
Yeah, Brandon's not wrong there. Bricktop and his teeth don't do wonders for the British stereotype of bad teeth, does he?
No, they don't. They don't.
Really doesn't. My teeth? Good. I got good teeth, I think. Good teeth.
We're not doing too bad. I could have got braces, but I didn't. Screw it. But apart from that, I think we're doing all right. Yeah, no, Bricktop, I mean, it's your number 5, but absolute gem of a villain. Absolute gem. Like the lines, the methods of killing, like
the piggies.
I can't remember. Just the other day, me and the girlfriend were talking, and I was like, babe, you don't mess with a man who owns pigs. And I broke it down to her again. She's like, what? How do you know this? I'm like, have you not seen Snatch? Yeah.
He is, top to bottom, terrifying. The opening scene where he's in that boxing gym, and you've got Turkish, played by Jason Statham, doing the narration going, it's been rumored that Bricktop's favorite way of killing someone is paper bag, duct tape, taser to the back, and then he feeds him to pigs. Cut to Bricktop saying, you're a ruthless little cunt, Liam, I'll give you that. But I got no time for grasses. And then he does the same thing to his other henchman. It's like, oh, this guy's serious. And I just love the way he's so fucking high on himself too. You take sugar? No, thank you, Turkish. I'm sweet enough. You're one of the most vile, ugly men to have ever walked the planet, but I'm kind of buying into your hype.
But that's the thing.
Thanks for the tip, Bricktop. If I throw a fucking dog a bone, I don't want to know how it tastes. You ever cut me off when I'm walking again, and I'll cut your fucking Jacobs off. It's like, yes. Cockney gangster, love it.
And he is believable as hell. Like, and he's got these.
You can go to the wrong part of London and there's Bricktops around.
Yeah. And it is the stereotype is there. They are that small little old guy, but he's well connected and he will stop at nothing. Like, you could lick this guy down with a 2x4 and he'll get back up and be like, fucking have it. It's just exactly who they are.
I mean, killing can I say the P word? Fuck it, it's in the movie. Killing the Pikey's mum by burning her alive inside a caravan.
Mum, but go for it, yeah.
Nah, the Pikey's all good. I speak my mind on this podcast. Fuck it. Not that I think the Irish travelers are all pikeys, just they happen to be pikeys in this movie. Notice I'm backtracking right now.
Do you know what I was going to say? And it goes back to like one of our earlier episodes, round 1 of the series. Well, series 9, if you would, because it was all YouTube. When you said it, I honestly.
Oh yes, I called Tyson Fury a pikey.
I was going to say congratulations, Tyson Fury, and I was like, I don't want to do that. Like, I actually have quite a lot of respect for that guy. He handled Wilder quite well. But, yeah.
If you think Wilder's a valid challenge, sure.
Different discussion. But yeah,
I'm not getting into the boxing discussion.
This is not. I'm going to leave it there.
I'll talk UFC with y'all all day long, and I know then the tech will jump right on that. But I'm not getting into the whole Tyson, AJ, Usyk. Not interested. I think boxing is in quite a boring place, to be honest, at the moment. I know sacrilege, burn the witch. Everyone seems to be boxing's amazing at the moment. Not into it.
You got a few characters, but not enough for it to be what it used to be. Like again, with the highest respect, yeah, the guy won, but it just felt like I don't know these guys who beat AJ, just nothing to like write home about. You don't know who they are. There seems to be some random nobody. He gets taken out by it, and I still love Anthony Joshua when I say this, yeah.
Hell yeah!
But it's just like it, like where are the days of Tyson versus Holyfield or Bruno's? Like there was characters,
Lennox Lewis.
This is what I'm saying. There was like some real powerful names. They just throw it around there. Yeah.
Shit, man. Yeah. Even Prince Nassim was a hell of a character.
Well, this is what I'm saying. It was just characters. You just needed those larger. Chris Eubanks, for God's sakes. Like it was people that gave you something. They're not there as much now.
John Miller comes in and says, "Love your Bond rant. So true. I feel disgusted, bro." And Let's Go Brandon comes in and says, "George Foreman, hell yeah."
Thank you, Foreman.
Lean, mean, fat drilling machine. I love the fact that there's a generation of people who think that George Foreman, the guy from the grill, is like, no, the world boxing champion, for fuck's sake.
Right, I'm going to ask a question just because he came out there. John Miller, by any chance do I know you? Because I was going to put a shout out to a John, right? I was going to put out a shout out to a John because I have a John at work who has seen the film and he said, "Oh, you do a podcast about films?" And I told him what it was going to be about. And he goes, "I'm going to look out for that." Also, you may not be this John, but John has been following Rocky on ITV recently. So every Friday, so we all had a couple of hours to go, I'll tell you. The boat's going to get empty. It's Rocky 4 tonight. This week is Rocky 5, unfortunately. But yeah.
Rocky 4. Yeah. Rocky stops the Cold War. Gotta love it. Aye.
But
Bricktop Snatch, one of my favorite British films ever. One of the best British gangsters ever. Larger than life. Some of the best dialogue ever in a British gangster movie. Thank you, Guy Ritchie, for that. It's superb.
Yeah.
And John says, "Not me, mate."
So, nice to meet you, John. Thank you. Welcome.
Probably a few Johns about. He's throwing shade. He's throwing shots already.
He's throwing shots, which is fine. I mean, my uncle's called John, for God's sakes. Like, I know there's a few Johns out there, but yeah, it was. I was just like, oh, he did say he's going to tune in. Oh, evidently he hasn't. My number 4. This is the Christopher Walken film that stopped me bringing up True Romance. I'm talking about Frank White, King of New York.
I have not seen this film.
So I had just come across it, and I did. Bless you. I did. It wasn't a sneeze, but hey, all the same.
It was.
It was okay. Cool. It was. Anyway, it's like.
Can we carry on from my respiratory movements? And back to New York?
I hadn't heard of it, and I came across it while looking for Fictional Gangsters, and one of the lines that caught me was how gangsters you have to be if you've been quoted in over 10 gangster rap songs. I was like, my God, I think I have heard of this name, but I actually ended up watching the film. And he plays a gangster, surprise, surprise, who has just come out of prison. And while he's coming out, it's really funny because it's a very quiet. Thank you, Let's Go Brandon. Thank you very much. It's really quiet and serene because he's just coming out and you could just, it's quiet. But on the flip, you just see all these other gang mobs who are out on the streets just getting eliminated. And then they put the newspaper, Frank Castle's been released. Like you could tell the world's about to change.
Oh, he plays Frank Castle.
So it's not Frank Castle, sorry, Frank White.
I was going to say, what the hell are you on about?
Frank White has been released. Talking of that, though, we have a young Lawrence Fishburne who plays like his right-hand man. This kind of hit guy. It's mad. And even those, like, they basically, his whole thing is now that he's out, he's looking to take back New York, and he's actually sleeping. I think the one was like a district attorney or something like that. So he's got people deep inside the law. So when these guys get arrested, literally 10 minutes and they're out. And this is for murder where there's a witness. He's corrupted as hell, and he's going to all these different gangs and telling them, I'm back. And anyone who doesn't listen gets wiped out. Like, he is seriously a man who is not to be fucked with. Like, it's proposal denied. There's no second chance. Whacked. Like, there are guns blazing in this film. But it's tactical. It's not like it's like, I'm not going to quote a film just in case it comes out. It's not one of those all-out shootouts. You get a few of those moments, but I was really impressed by this film. He was he was a head honcho in this film, man. He had the women, the drugs, the henchmen. It was, yeah, it's nice. It's a good. You'll enjoy it. I really think you'll enjoy it. Actually, I don't want to give like the whole spill of the film, but it's he's looking to take over New York. You got a couple of cops trying to take him out. Wesley Snipes coincidentally plays one of the cops trying to take him out at one point. But yeah, awesome movie. Awesome movie.
Mixed Memorabilia agrees with you, says great movie. Tucky has just said, I'm late to the party, but The Departed is right up there. Great movie. So here's the thing. AJ and I were saying this right at the beginning of the show. I only found this out. Look, so Frank Costello from The Departed, who I up until now believe was fictional based on Whitey Bulger, and in fact that may have been how he was portrayed in The Departed. Frank Costello was a real gangster, and apparently he was
Costello
the guy.
Of that nature. Again, Frank Costello was of Italian descent. This Frank Costello was of American Irish descent. But again, because he's a portrayal of Whitey Bulger, it would have fallen more into our previous category of real life gangsters. That's the way I played it. That's the way I played it with this.
Nah, for me, being a depiction of something, you still get a pass for me. Just if you're okay, Casino couldn't make it because Sam Bass Rothstein wasn't called Sam Bass Rothstein, but he was based on a real person. Obviously, the good one is Henry Hill, but the
Casino did make the list.
How? Fictional?
What? No, in real. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yes, in real. But what I'm saying is that Frank Costello is. Maybe I'm contradicting myself there. Yeah, maybe you're right. Fuck it. Maybe it is. Maybe it is based on. Yeah, I'll shut up. Fair play to you.
That's exactly why I couldn't do it. But yeah.
Den the Tech. I see your top. We'll read it out in a few moments.
In a few minutes. I think from now, guys, you can start. I think we're safe this week. I think we're safe.
We seem to be safe. So drop in everyone in the chat, everyone who's watching us live. I want to hear, and we're going to read you out and shout out what your selections are in order, numbered order, please. What are your top 10 fictional gangster movies? Sound out in the chat down below, and we'll read them out in a moment. But that was your number 4, right, AJ?
Bro, check it out. It's okay. Sorry, have to have a tangent / rant, right?
Please go.
It is available on Amazon Prime, on Prime Video.
Right.
Lo and behold, bro, I was fuming. Why? I couldn't download it. I'm like, why can I not download it? Yeah, It's free because Amazon now have a thing called IMDb TV, which I was like, okay, cool. It comes with freaking adverts. Bro, how?
That's wrong. That's disgusting.
Like, you know me, I have alternatives, and I was like, I have to do an alternative. I am not going to be watching a film, and the thing is, it feels like a scene. You know, with normal one, you get a cut to tell you it's going. I'm just watching this thing deep in American, and I heard this kid's like, "Mom, she's on the laptop again." I was like, "The fuck!" Like, it went to a Barclays advert. I was fuming.
This is a really good moment to maybe go on a tangent that I think needs to be spoken about, and it's kind of movie related. I am getting, every time I go to the cinema, I get more and more angry at the amount of ads that are playing. Here's the thing. This is why people are going to be like, oh, the ads are great. No, I'm not talking. I'm not
trailers,
talking,
ads.
Correct. Exactly right. I am not talking about when you go, especially if it's a Disney thing. Like, I'll give James Bond No Time to Die credit for one thing. There was hardly any trailers in it, like hardly any. And it kind of sent a very cool message out. This was before I saw the eventuality of the film. But it sent a cool message out, which was kind of like, hey, I'm James Bond. I don't need to fuck around with trailers. I was like, okay, kind of gangster. I like that. But yeah, little to no trailers in No Time to Die. Anyway, I digress. When you pay for a premium service, TV is terrestrial. It's
Sorry, I just want to bring out what John said because it goes against what you said. You said there was no trailers. He was saying that's went on for 40 minutes for Bond.
Swear down, really?
Oh, Brandon's in New York. Pre-movie ads are 35 minutes. It's about that over here as well, dude. I'm not gonna lie.
So it is. So here's the thing. And I don't really know. I don't have a solution. Like on the video I made literally yesterday about how Bond flopping in the US is a good thing and why, I made a very clear point of power to the people here because you have the power to speak with your money and the studios will listen So don't see the movie, don't support it. Send a message to the studios, which is, we've heard what happens in this movie. We're not supporting you in the endeavor to chastise one of the characters, arguably the longest running character in cinema history. Let people speak with their money. That was the kind of message I was sending across. This one, I'm open to suggestions if you guys have them about what to do, but I will honestly put my fist down here, because I believe that the same way that, and I support Netflix in doing this, the same way that when you are paying a premium service, a premium streaming service, you don't have ads. YouTube is now offering a premium version where when you pay, there's no ads. That's
Trust
fucking
me, and
YouTube.
they know what they're doing, because boy, do they slap the ads on now. They know how to make you pay to eliminate.
It doesn't matter.
But I'm saying they know what they're doing.
Of course they know what they're doing.
They're showing you there's an option out there. It's either you're going to pay by watching the adverts, or you will pay us to stop the adverts.
But it's such a great way of demonstrating what I'm talking about, that when you pay for a premium service, what you are paying for isn't the content that you can find elsewhere. You're paying to have it in high quality, ad-free. That's why you pay. Otherwise, you know what? Proxies and Pirate Bay still exist, motherfucker. But I'd actually like to see a movie in good quality, and I'd like to see it, as it's meant to be seen, without the ads and everything. Now, forgive me, Amazon Prime, and we'll get to the cinemas in a minute, but Amazon Prime, from what you've just told me, that is a piss take. That is a piss take of the highest degree, because already their subscription model leaves me wanting a bit, because you pay.
And I think let's discuss
exactly, you've got tiers, so you pay, but then once you've paid, maybe the movie that you want isn't even included, so you've got to just get lucky. Netflix is very clear. We change our movies all the time, but we either have the movie or you don't. You've paid. You've got nothing else to pay. That's it. You pay. What we have is what you get. There's no tiers to it. Amazon, it's very annoying. It's like, it's almost like paying someone to dangle a carrot in front of you. I see you going to the comments. Don't bring any up.
No, I'm not bringing up anything yet. Yeah.
So it's almost like, when someone dangles a carrot in front of you, kind of like you were just saying YouTube do with their ads, right? They're dangling a carrot, but the free version, you're not paying, right? You're not paying to have the carrot dangled. Amazon are literally charging you to dangle the carrot. It's like, pay your monthly subscription service, and here's all these cool movies that we haven't included. You want to pay for them too? Sorry, that's wrong. And now you're but that's a whole other debate. But now you're telling me there's ads on these motherfuckers? I'm sorry, what?
I was human. I was legit, because I was like, hold on, again, it's my brother's account, so I'm not going to take it too to heart. But I was like, but this is a service I'm paying for, and it's like, so does that mean I now have to find another? Again, I always say it. It's like when I used to say, find me 1, 2, 3 movies, the legal version. I will pay that because it has everything I need. Amazon have a good collection, but this stupid, you can get MGM, you can get IMDb TV, you can get Hey You plus this. So I'm paying you like $8.99 to be able to open the access to all of this other stuff. Now, 12 quid, a £4 extra should give me absolutely everything, because I appreciate you're giving me next day delivery free of charge for absolutely everything I do. So yes, it is a tad of a bonus, but this is taking the piss. To actually say in subscription, you're going to start slapping in that advert. That there is no way that is justifiable.
Correct. Now, here's the thing. Now I want to make this about the cinema world, right? And I want to, although I have issues with the Netflix business model and the fact that they're running at such a loss, which I don't think is a healthy way to run a business personally. But hey, you know what? They're $1 billion company or whatever, but they're still running at a loss. That speaks volumes. But in terms of offering the consumer an experience, they're absolutely doing the right thing. Here's where I get miffed with cinemas, right? Because I'd like to be clear. I actually, as part of the cinema experience, I actually enjoy the trailers. But I want to make a very clear distinction between trailer and ad. Like,
just before you go, Dan, thanks for your input. I see you got a run, bro, but we got your top 10. We will read it out. But yeah.
Thank you, Dan.
Continue.
So
thank you.
Here's the thing. I remember when the Star Wars Episode 7 trailer came out and the world fucking froze, right? And I watched it on my phone because I was moving at the time. Then I watched it on my TV and it was even better. But I also remember watching that Episode 7 trailer in the cinema in huge screen Dolby surround sound, and it was like, oh, okay, wow, that was in it. There is a magic to watching a trailer for something that is meant to be experienced on the big screen. The point of a trailer is to get you more excited than you already are, or get you at least excited if you weren't already, right? It's meant to raise the bar, which is why some trailers work, some don't, right? A cinema which charges a premium service. Now, granted, to Cineworld, who's the main cinema we go to here, that if you're in the States, they're part of the Regal. Cineworld and Regal, they're the same brand, essentially. You are paying them a premium to watch a film. I understand that there are intra studio agreements between various. There are intra-studio agreements that when a studio puts a movie out, they will also use that as a platform to show what else that studio has coming. That's normal business practice.
Yeah, that's standard.
Doritos, Coca-Cola, Barclays, university ads. Sorry, I've paid you money to not have that shit. And
now,
here's the thing.
I'm going to give you a slight twist. Just bear with me one sec. Even if you're going to show me the food and drink, it might be to entice me to go to the kiosk. There is no point am I going to think I need to get my car insurance while I'm in the cinema.
I'm not talking about food and drink that directs you to the kiosk. I'm talking about Pepsi having a dedicated drink Pepsi ad. That's got, sorry.
But it might make me, unless it's in this, which would be
that's a fucking irrelevant point. You are paying. I don't give a fuck if it's in the kiosk. No, I've walked past the kiosk. If I've chosen to buy something, I've chosen to buy something. If I've chosen to walk straight in, that's my right as a consumer. I have a serious issue with paying $20, $25, $30, whatever it is in the States now, or paying $17.99 premium here. More if we're in one of those 4DX super screen things, which I got no issue paying for an even better viewing experience. But I have a major fucking issue. Someone taking my money and trying to sell me something else. And by selling me something else, I do not mean selling me on another movie coming out. That's cool. I am wanting to be engaged in whatever's coming out later in the cinema. That's cool.
It's part of the experience.
It is part of the experience. Selling me Pepsi or Barclays Insurance or it's the insurance ones that really bug me, because you would be sitting in the cinema with your popcorn. It's like, hey, did you know that if you die now, you can get life insurance? Fuck you. Like, sorry. Even the video games, and I'm massive video game fan. There is no space, and this shouldn't be allowed. And I challenge you guys, really look at this shit, because it's getting worse. I still remember vividly the first time I saw a non-trailer ad play in the cinema, and it was like, the fuck? It was weird.
It felt weird.
Felt really weird. Now, because we haven't made any noise about it, and I don't know what to do about this, as I've said, I don't know what call of action to sound out. I'm just expressing a rant here, right? But I remember when that first ever non-cinematic ad came out, and everyone was like, okay, what the fuck? Now, because there was no reaction to that, it's become the norm. And really look at this, because it's getting worse. And I believe that as movie fans who pay a premium, we deserve to go to a cinema experience not trailer, ad-free. And anyone who wants to say that, the cinemas need that to make money, no. You ask most cinema managers, hey, you in the movie business? They'll say, we're in the confectionery and candy business. That's how they make their money.
But this is why I think the Dorito and Coke kind of entice for anyone to be
leave that fucking noise. Take out the Dorito and Coke argument if you want. I'm talking. I'm not gonna give them any grounds on which to defend themselves here. Ads have got no place in the cinema, none. But there's got to be something to be done about that.
I'm gonna bring in the comments now, because it's the one that I was gonna say, and I saw that he done it. Let's Go Brandon does exactly what I used to do. Recently, I've been going to View with the missus because she doesn't have a membership and it's cheaper to go that way. This is what he does. Show up 30 minutes late when they go to the theatre. It's exactly what I do. When we were like in the height of all of our film reviews and stuff like that, like obviously it's just restarted and membership, I just haven't renewed it as yet with Cineworld. I will be getting back, guys. But I was like, I predicted the film time and I was like, it will start over there. I miss trailers because of it. I was like, you know what? I get alerted through YouTube that a trailer's come out, and I just screw it. I will not watch it. And I don't know if they start to realize that people start to come in for films just as they're about to really come out. Could be the incentive to be like, well, what's going on? They'll be like, people don't give a shit about car insurance. when going to go and see a thing, you know. And I think it was cheeky because the way they used to do it, and I could be wrong, you would have something that was slightly tied into it. So you'll see this thing and you'll see James Bond or something. You're like, oh, it's a trailer. You'd be like, oh no, it's actually for Aston Martin or BMW or a watch. And that's how they first got us, right?
Yeah.
Because it was like this weird tie-in. And then it's like, yeah, then it was Coke. Then it was McDonald's. Then it was, yeah. I think I'm getting TV. I think, you know what? It's funny this happens because I'm doing this in random, then with it in order. YG says at this rate, BBC will start showing ads too.
Yeah,
I think BBC have advertised in fucking cinemas. I'm sure I've seen something for iPlayer in there. I could be wrong, but even if they haven't, it comes under BritBox or some shit. Like they find a way to. People are just taking the absolute piss out of us.
I will turn the camera around. Sorry, I've got my very pregnant wife dancing naked in front of me, telling me to hurry up. I will turn the camera around.
We're here for it.
No, you behave.
If she hears anyone out, listen, I'm taken. Replay that to Tammy. I'm a dead man, but that would tell someone. I'll leave now.
You behave.
Oh,
yeah, but YG's right. This way, the BBC will start showing ads. And Den says, I'm back. But here's the thing. Yeah, John Miller, I want to bring this up. A bigger issue is the rock hard seats that make me uncomfortable throughout the whole screening, meaning I'm constantly swapping butt cheeks like I'm standing in it. Yeah, I hear that.
Sometimes
my technique is I cross my legs until the leg I'm balancing on goes numb. Then I switch over. That seems to keep me relatively comfortable.
Endgame, the leg room was ridiculous.
Oh, bro. Do you know what's even worse, right? Here's the one. The IMAX cinema in Waterloo. Now, I've been to two different IMAXs. The one in Poland, funnily enough, really good. Like, really good. The IMAX at Waterloo is a fucking joke. Absolute joke. Bro, I'm 6'2" and I'm all leg, yeah? I appreciate that I'm a tall dude, yeah? I had to put I couldn't actually, even sitting up straight, my legs didn't fit. I had to sit, cross, and put my legs kind of like in front of Anya's. I was like, and sorry, I'm paying how much for this? I have no leg room. But that's a whole other thing. They're going to try and get as many.
I used to do the front, you know, just to be able to stretch my legs, but then I didn't enjoy the view, so I gave up. But yeah.
Let's go. Brandon says in New York City, all major theaters got recliners. Brandon, here's the thing, right? When I lived in Southeast Asia, best part of 10 years, if I'm telling you, AJ's heard this, but I'm telling you because you're new to the show. The cinema experience there, oh, so good. Full lazy boy recliners. They bring you a lavender scented pillow with like, you know, a fresh, you know, warm, fresh out the fucking, fresh out the dryer blanket. They would come and take your order right by your seat, but they would do it in a way so that they never disturbed you. So they wouldn't be like tapping you on the shoulder in the middle of the movie going, hey, do you want something? It's like, I'm watching a movie. Leave me alone. They would, you know, they'd come and take your order early. They'd bring you like cheesecakes, different kind of like, you know, chicken satay. It was just, mwah. That's how cinema should be.
Yeah. It's
beautiful thing.
Yeah, it is. But no, something needs to be done. It needs to be. I don't think it matters because they still get the ticket. So if you come in just before their film, I don't know if they'll listen to the noise. But advertisers might realize that people just don't give a shit. I don't know if they will be able to clock it that people don't.
Well, they need to be careful because otherwise people are just going to keep investing in their progressively cheaper and cheaper OLED 4K displays at home, which you just get. I mean, dude, I've got a 65-inch sitting in my living room, and I got it front, and it's 4K OLED HDR, 120 hertz, motion flow, under 500 quid.
There's that, and the problem
people will just stay home.
If you have like Disney Plus, where Disney are doing their shit. I saw Free Guy like a week before.
That's why I watched it. That's literally why I watched it. You told me it's on Disney Plus. I was like, nah, I wouldn't watch Free Guy at home.
I thought it was a joke. I was like, huh? Even when I told the missus, oh, do you want to watch that film we watched again? She was like, did you download it? I'm like, no, it's on Disney Plus. It's legal.
Black Widow's there now too.
Who?
Black Widow. That's there now too.
Yeah.
I don't like the fact that there's a potential for the streaming services to replace cinema. I'm a firm believer that the love for the cinema experience will prevail, but I know there's a lot of people who don't like it needs a lot of change for it to win. I know there's a lot of people who don't like the stale popcorn and the non-fizzy drinks that are supposed to be fizzy, and the cinema auditoriums that smell, and as John Miller said, the seats that aren't comfortable and the lack of leg room, and
the fact that you need to have a sideline as a gangster to be able to afford food from the concession stand. Let's be honest. I remember reading this. Someone said if you see a person with hot dogs, popcorn, and nachos, they're a drug dealer. There is no other reasonable explanation for that level of income. No one has that surplus,
isn't it? It's absolutely ridiculous. Right, yeah, sorry. Massive tangent done. My number 4. So, as some of you know, I always put the question out before the podcast comes out on Twitter at MovieMT Rushmore. I ask a question, the best of the topic we're doing. So this last week, the question was, what's your favorite movie, excluding The Godfather? Because everyone picks The Godfather online. But what's your favorite fictional gangster movie? A lot of different choices came up. Not a single person brought this up. And considering the demographic we have, the type of people we have watching the show who are really, really well versed in movies, I'm shocked that no one brought this up. Stanley Kubrick's masterpiece, Clockwork Orange, Alex DeLarge. Like, if you want to tell me in any way, shape, or form that this guy's not a gangster, he literally has a gang called the Droogs.
He is. As I've always said, I need to give Kubrick another try. And this film specifically, I remember watching it very late at night when I should have been in bed. This is when I was still under parents' guidance kind of thing. And I've never actually been able to I just never revisited it. So I'm aware of some of the magic he got up to. I just haven't seen the film properly to be able to consider it.
Bro, it's fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. And it's such a condemnation of societal tolerance, really, because we're all trying to say like, oh yeah, we need to be, don't get me wrong, I am not fucking preaching anti-wokeism here, but I'm also saying that the pendulum can sometimes swing too far. I'm not saying that there shouldn't be equal rights for women, equal rights for anyone who's a minority. I mean, I'm all for fucking making things very, very equal as possible, but to answer your question, AJ, that's me.
Okay, I'm like, who's? I've seen these comments under our thing. I'm like, huh? What?
No, that's me.
All right, cool.
So yeah, where was I? It's a condemnation on societal acceptance, because instead of looking at this guy and being like, yo, he needs some serious help and therapy, what do? Therapeutic torture. Let's force nicety on him. Now, I'm going to use my old vegetarian meat restaurant here, but forgive me if you're a vegetarian, which, hi-ho, and you go and you want to get people on board with the idea of not killing animals because it's not only kind of nasty because animals are living sentient beings, but it's also really, really bad for the environment. You're not going to educate someone by going to an Argentine steakhouse and banging on the window and screaming, "Animal murderer!" So it's not going to happen. What you need to do is you need to invite discussion. Essentially, what this movie does, their treatment for him is animal murderer. It's same level. It's like if something's deep rooted in you, you need to talk that shit through. You don't force it out of someone. And man, is this guy evil. He's all sorts of evil. Murdering homeless people, breaking into rich people's homes and raping. I mean, he's all sorts of evil. And it's such a bleak outlook on society. What does he call murder? The Red Groovy. Shout out to Rob Zombie and Edge's old theme song. Never gonna stop me, never gonna stop. What's your number 3?
Right. Do you know what? While we're on this, have you got any other like vintage kind of gang type movie? It's going to sound weird when I say this. Do you know one that I was tempted to put in?
Define
I don't
vintage.
think you got it in. I'm just going to say because I don't think you got it in there, but I just couldn't find a place for it. The Warriors. I was kind of tempted to put.
Warriors come out to play. It's a good one.
Yeah, that was one that when you went there. Okay, right. This was the punch from earlier. He at one point he wasn't going to be my gangster from this film, but he is probably the most go-to gangster in this film. I am talking Jules Winfield from Pulp Fiction.
That
Like,
was my number 9, the punt from earlier. Exactly the same. I'll bring it up here. Absolutely, no doubt. There was so many ways you could have played around with this. Yes, the story focuses far more on Vincent Vega. And you could argue that the big head honcho gangster in all this is
Marcel.
Marcellus Wallace. Who's the bad motherfucker?
But this is the thing. But then the thing is, the bad motherfucker reported to this guy, which made me think, yeah, like he must be able to do some shit. But like, nah, Jules is the man.
You also remember what Jules said about Marcellus Wallace at the beginning of the film, right?
Go on.
Because you know I can recite this shit top to
I
bottom,
know.
don't you? I watched Pulp Fiction way too much when I was 15 and it's now embedded into my head. When they're talking about Antoine Rockamora, Tony Rakihara being thrown out of the window into the little glass house, and then when they're talking about the foot massage thing, and then Jules and just when they're about to go and knock on Brad's door, and they take a little detour down the end of the corridor. What was it Jules says? He says, "Motherfucker do that to me, he better bury my ass because I'll kill the motherfucker."
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That's the line that made me go, yeah, okay, you just don't mess with Jules.
Yeah, Jules just commands power.
Yes, Ezekiel 25:17.
Yeah, exactly. There was just that sentiment, and I mean, it's something that has long lived. You know, it's in his facial structure of actual Samuel L. Jackson. Like, this is why we can even go down the Jackie Brown thing. Like, you know, he's just a general bad motherfucker. Like, you don't fuck with this guy, and it's just displayed here in Jules, and it's the lines, it's the way he delivers stuff. The fact that, again, this is something I didn't mention in King of New York. The same sort of thing. You're about to get robbed, and you stick it on the robber. Like, there's a part in King of New York, you'll see it. Like, guys are gonna rob him, and he's like, okay, nice try. He sticks it on them, and it's so weird. Like, it's that command of power that even in the threatening situation, you're the one who's taking. You should be scared, but you've taken control. You know, I always remember as a kid, my aunt, like, I can't remember what it was, some dumb shit, and it was like, gotta go do something. Like, I'll take my baseball bat, I'll fuck him up, and it was like, go on, take your baseball bat. But what happens if that stronger person now has your baseball bat? You're in even bigger trouble than you were initially in a fight, you know? And it's the same sort of thing here. It's like, you try some shit on Jules, and Jules is like, yeah, I'll show you. I'll show you. This is problems, man. So yeah,
he's amazing. Just a few quick comments before we get back to Jules. Taki says, does License to Kill count? Love a bit of Fran Sanchez. Hell yes, Fran Sanchez counts. John Miller says, does the Warriors count? Well, your timing's perfect because it certainly does. Let's go. Brandon says, my honorable mention, Boondock Saints. Brandon, I'm ashamed to say I still haven't seen that film.
That's two of us.
And John Miller says, small faces for an honorable mention. Again, one I haven't seen. So, guys, thank you for the edutainment here today.
Guys, start running up because we're yeah. I mean, by the time we get to worst, you could probably start writing them, but we've got a few names to people.
Jules is such a tour de force, man, and it's the way he's got such a surety of himself. You know, we should be dead, man. He's convinced that he's on this path of righteousness now. But then, just like that, someone puts a gun in his face and he's a bad motherfucker again, right? All of this having just been taught, having literally just picked up someone's brains in a car, right? I love that interaction between the two of them in the car. I think that's such, like, everyone talks about the Royale with cheese, the foot massage, foot pride, and all that. There's so many memorable parts in Pulp Fiction. It's crazy. But that scene in the car, I think people do not talk about it enough. And I'm not talking about when they kill Marv. I'm talking about when they're cleaning up Marv. So, oh, man, I will never forgive your ass for this. Jules, do you believe that when a man says he's wrong and that he's apologized, he's exhumed of all responsibility? Get the fuck out of my face with that. Man who did that never had to pick up N-words. Brains in the car. Jules, I'm just telling you, I'm a race car and I'm in the red. And I'm just saying, it's dangerous to keep a race car in the red. Oh, you a race car in the red? Well, I'm the fucking Guns of the Navarone, motherfucker. it's so good. I'm a certified motherfucker.
All of it. He's just
fact,
golden.
We switching seats. I'm on front. You picking up this brother's... I nearly said it. I'm not going to say the M word. You picking up this skull. Top to bottom, that character is amazing. Funnily enough, here's an interesting thing. He showed at the beginning he's not afraid of Marcellus, and you can maybe argue that that's his hubris, that's his arrogance. If it was ever him up against Marcellus, it would be a different story. Maybe. He was afraid of the wolf.
Yeah, Winston Wolfe nearly made it as an option as well. For that short minute that he's in the film, you can see he's a man of power. Like,
Yeah.
he's a fixer, you know. And that's what I thought was really good about Winston Wolfe. Like, he nearly made the list as well, but Jules
was afraid of Winston Wolfe.
Yeah, I actually didn't think of that. I just thought of Winston Wolfe in general, but I didn't actually think of that. He was, yeah. That's a very good point.
That was your number 3, yeah?
Yeah. Over to you.
Jules Winfield. Oh, man, my number 3. I know that this act has been cancelled, but I will forever talk about this movie. My number 3, the boogeyman, Kaiser Soze.
Do you know, it's one of those things that I know. Remember, I said I need to revisit this film, and that was the only reason I didn't. I just need to revisit it, but I knew he was definitely a contender to be on the list.
This movie, in such a short period, bearing in mind it's only like 90 minutes long, or like 100 minutes long. Like, the movie doesn't have much length. It's like AEW Rampage. They've put so much content into such a short period of time. It's wonderful. And in such a short period of time, you're given so many tidbits and hints and tips and clues as to who this guy is. And yes, it's got one of the best twist endings ever. But let's be real. Every time you rewatch this movie, you can't help yourself. You're looking for clues like, oh, look at this, look at that, look at this, look at that. There's so much going on in this movie. It's a thing of utter beauty. Now, there's all these sorts of weird, fan theories that he wasn't Kaiser. Yes, he was. He was absolutely Kaiser Soze. Absolutely, he was Kaiser Soze. And Kaiser Soze is like the gangster. Like, he's the gangster who gangsters are afraid of. That's why he's on this list.
Fair play. I would love to, as I said, I need to really give it better time than I did, so I can't add. But he was a potential contender for me. But I wanted to be true in my.
MYG is asking, Mr. Blonde from Reservoir Dogs.
I so toyed with Reservoir Dogs.
Hell yes.
He probably would have been the one I went for as well. I so toyed with it because they're gangsters. Let's not fuck about.
So I'm getting a lot of questions from all of you. Does this count? Does this count? Does this count? Does that count? I want to hear from Let's Go Brandon. I want to hear from John Miller. I want to hear from YG. Mixed Memorabilia has put their top 10 in, I believe, and Dennis as well. I want to hear from you all. Order it. What is your top 10?
Put it in. If we have to cancel one, you could then bring out another selection. But just go wild. But if you believe they're based on real life, that's the only caveat. If they're based on a real life gangster, it doesn't work. That's the only caveat to this.
Give us your list, guys. Put them in the comments. Your 10 through to 1. Let me hear them. So that was my number 3. AJ, your number 2.
Right. I don't know if you've seen this film. It was the influence to one of the most dangerous wrestlers that ever walked. I'm talking New Jack City, Nino Brown, played by Wesley Snipes.
It's been a long time since I've seen New Jack City. This was Chris Rock's first role, wasn't it?
I'm not sure if it was it, because I saw him and I was like, was it this or was it Beverly Hills Cop 2? I can't remember which one.
No. This was before Beverly Hills Cop 2.
Could well be. But yeah, Chris Rock was in this as
young,
a young Chris Rock, which is nuts.
You see Chris Rock on SNL now. He's got some age to him, poor guy.
Bro, I saw something and I could see it. Even when I saw that he was like directing the new Saw film, I was like, damn, Chris. It's just like, man. Know, right? Yeah, when you know your childhood is dying, when your heroes are like up in age, man. It's a sad time. But Nino Brown was a bad mofo.
And New Jack based himself off this guy, right?
The film, like the name, he called himself New Jack, based off of New Jack City, because he was like, some gangster shit, which New Jack was quite.
New Jack was a psycho, man.
As Den chronically says, he doesn't like to talk ill of the dead, but when he heard that guy passed away, thank God. Now, guys, if you're not a wrestling fan, which happens, my brother used to watch wrestling, he gave up. I said, look, you need to see this episode. Dark Side of the Ring, the story of New Jack. My God, this guy is, it's unreal. You have to see it. It's an hour of unbelievable madness that is actually real life. Like, wrestling's fake, New Jack isn't. That's as real as I can say it. New Jack isn't.
He went full Hannibal Lecter on someone and tried to peel their face off. Like, I'm sorry. Like, he went real Hannibal Lecter. Like, nah.
He threw a man off a scaffolding. Like with the intent to kill him. With the intent to kill him. There's no in between. His intent was to remove this man off the face of the earth.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's that one. But yeah, back to Nino Brown. Even the opening of as much as I look at some of the other films, when it came to the opening of the intro of a character, how does Nino Brown enter this film? Him and his goons are hanging a man upside down over a river. And it's not a threat because he drops him.
Right.
Like it's within the first 5 minutes of the film. It's not a spoiler. It's the first few minutes of the film. You see this and big time drug dealer, and essentially it felt a bit real. Like after you watch like Birth of an what was it for 13? What was it? That documentary.
13, yeah,
13. Like it was the black man bringing crack in. Like it's the rise of crack. You could see where they were doing coke and all this other stuff, and he started to see the rocks, and he starts to see the benefits of what it is. And then you've got Ice-T, who I would never really get to play a cop. Like,
nah,
Ice Cube is bad, but Ice-T just didn't. I think it was early acting. I think he doesn't do films. He's a TV actor. Let's be real. But it is what it is. It is what it is. But yeah, Nino Brown was a ruthless dude. And like he's a bad mofo. He's bad. He's real bad. So that's where I went for it. Like I thought the way Nino delivered stuff, he had it all: the drugs, the women, the guns. He handled shit. So
okay. I wish I could comment more.
It's a bit edgy for me, but he's that guy. One sec. Oh, hey Declan, we're good. How are you, bro? Declan 2, just in case there's a Declan 1 out there.
Thank you for joining us, Declan. Much appreciate it, bro.
Thank you.
All right, my number 2 then. It's the punt from earlier, but I have a feeling we're going to have picked a different character. Michael Corleone from the Godfather.
Do you know what? Mine is completely different because most people would have think I went down the Vito line. No, I went Sonny. I need
following fucking liability.
He's a liability, but he was also. It sounds weird. He's the one I felt the respect for. He had the true family values. He was not letting his sister go through shit. Like he was. He was
a moron,
bro. There was something about him that I could. I don't want to say.
Bro, I can relate to Sonny. He was a fucking hothead. I can completely relate to him.
But like, he was a liability. But I remember just going back, and there was just. Sorry, I saw your eyes wander there. Yeah, there was something about him that in this film that you've watched again and learned to appreciate. He was the one standout to me that really gave me something about this film that I keep hearing about, that is The Godfather, and I'm like, yeah. This hothead gave me something, and that's where Sonny stood out to me.
So here's the thing, right? I mean, it's you've heard me do this confession once. Until my lovely wife and I decided to count down the top 100 movies of all time according to Empire magazine, and I had a chance to properly rewatch The Godfather, I was not the biggest fan of this franchise. Do I still think it's overhyped? Yes. People calling it the greatest film of all time. I can't hear that noise, but I get why you like it. I get why you're passionate about it. But I can tell you, hand over heart now, having finally rewatched it properly, it's good. Man, it's good. It's so good. And what I love about it so much is that it's almost the story that it's... I love it when people... I hate it when people say, oh, they didn't need to make this movie. This movie never need... No movie ever needs to be made. There's this... logic. It's an entertainment form. Nothing needs to be done. But I do think that the Michael Corleone story needs to be told throughout the generations, because, I mean, Breaking Bad got its ideas from The Godfather, essentially. It's like, here's a guy who's basically a straight shooter, in Michael's case, coming out of the army. Yeah, he's hanging around some of the wrong people, but man, does he get sucked into that world. And it's almost an odyssey, his journey. You know, this young man to then taking full control, to then the fall from grace and how it affects his immediate family. Now, the reason it's not my number 1 is because nothing can touch my number 1 when we're talking about fictional gangsters. And I'm pretty sure you've got exactly the same number 1 as me. If I know you.
To be fair, I think it's common, because if you forgot my one, I don't know how you did.
The feeling is mutual. But no, the odyssey of Michael Corleone is quite the story. And I think I I say even part 3. I think people are so hard on part 3.
Can I
I
just
can't get my
bring
head
this up at
around
the
it.
moment? John Miller actually says, I kind of like part 3, unlike the rest of the world.
John, I'm with you. I do not get the hate for part 3. People label Sofia Coppola as being, it's because of, blame the woman that the movie went wrong. Bullshit. Was it a directing mistake to have her and only her share a scene with Al Pacino? Yes, because it really showed how green she was. But when she's in an ensemble scene, I did not really see an issue with her. And yeah, what I saw was an actress who was very, very, very early in her career. But to go out on a record and say because of that the movie's bad, nah, I'm sorry, I don't see that. And if it's not because of Sofia Coppola and there are other reasons, I would actually go, and I've said this before on pod, I would go as far as to argue that the fallout in Godfather 3 is what makes part 2 so good. Because part 2 is a standalone, ends at it has kind of that Aviator syndrome. You remember Scorsese's Aviator? It ends just as the movie was getting to its almost best part, you would say. If you don't have The Godfather 3 and you don't see the repercussions of Michael's actions, you don't see how he becomes estranged from his children, you don't see him having to deal with the physical and emotional anguish of losing his brother by his own decision.
See,
It lacked then 2 like
one,
substance.
because I'm only at number
3
1,
just,
it's hard for me.
bro, 1's great. It sets the scene. And oh man, fucking Marlon Brando. Oh man. If we ever do a list of all-time top 10 actors, Marlon's in that discussion.
Yeah,
And I'm not saying it just to be the populist choice here. He is between A Streetcar Named Desire, Apocalypse Now, fucking Last Tango in Paris, and The Godfather. I mean, that guy, man. That fucking guy.
I respect him. Can I just say, by the way, Declan 2, Nick, just a movie fan on Twitter.
Oh shit! Oh my bro, Declan.
I thought
We've
you'd
been
like
interacting a lot on Twitter.
This is it. To anyone on Twitter, I just have to say, hi guys. I have to stay away, otherwise the game at the end can't be played. But I do appreciate you guys when I hear the name. So that's really cool to have you on board, Declan. Thank you.
Let's go. Brandon added to the hallmark the hallmark Hall of Fame career that Brando had. He said on the waterfront. That's another great shout. Riri Thomas has come in with another top 10 idea. Top 10 movies that came out the year you were born. So I kind of like that.
It would, but we'd have to do 2 top 10s because one of us is 85, 87. So it's 2 different years. Yeah, it's cool. As long as we don't take it. We'd have to do top 10, 85, top 10, 87. Because we would have, there's no chance of punting, and I'd be like, no, the 85 films kick the 87's ass, man.
By the way, I actually think they do. I'm just kind of going through my head the movies that came out in 85. I think you've got me beat on this one quite substantially.
Probably. I actually know my number 1 straight away, but we won't get into that.
All right. So that was my number 2. I'll be honest there, Jay. I didn't have a worst. So what's your, what I couldn't think of one. I was drawing a blank. So what worst did you come up with?
The guy who thinks he's a gangster, but his real name's Clarence, and Clarence's parents live at home with both parents. No, I'm joking. I've done that for banter. it could have been Papa Doc. I just was going to do the whole monologue. I was on there. Then something hit me very, very last minute. That was Papa Doc, guys, for 8 Mile. The fucking Lost Boys. I remember watching this film when we done something about vampires or something, and I did not see the hype. We could talk about the Godfather and the hype that was in there, but I saw Lost Boys and I was just like, no. And I remember this because I still will hold respect for Batman Forever. And I remember seeing Joel Schumacher and I'm like, here we go. Here's a point for me. It's got all this raving reviews. I'm going to stick it to Nico right now. I'm going to be like, the Lost Boys is cool. You see Joel Schumacher can make this film sucked.
Told you.
It was bad. I just didn't. There was nothing in this film. I remember in the Vampires, I think it hit like a 10, and the more I was hitting it, the more I realized how much I didn't enjoy the film, and it could have possibly been worse for me. It just didn't hit a beat, and this gang of vampires just didn't work. So I could go David as the leader, but I just feel like the Lost Boys are a lost cause.
Take it. You're not going to hear any argument from me.
You can have Clarence if you want.
All right. Should we reveal our number one? Because I know I don't even need to guess. I know we've got the same number one in 3, 2, 1.
Say hello to my little friend,
Of
Tony Montana.
Of course,
to
it's
be done.
Tony Montana. Of
Had to
course,
be
it's
done.
Tony Montana. Listen, I've said for the longest time that in the discussion of The Godfather versus Scarface, Scarface wins. And even now, having seen The Godfather again for the third or fourth time and having a new found appreciation for the Odyssey story, I don't mean the Odyssey is in Homer's Odyssey. I mean the Odyssey story that is Michael Corleone's story, as in is his Odessic. Still second to Scarface for me.
This is
What Brian De Palma did with this film echoes throughout eternity. And what I find, here's a good word for you, flabbergasting, is that in Empire's countdown of the top 100 movies, Scarface didn't even crack the top 100. I'm sorry, that to me
weird.
is a fucking fallacy.
That's weird, man. And it's one of the most revered films. Like, people bring this film up everywhere. And
MTV Cribs, every time they went into someone's house, they would pull out a DVD of Scarface. Why? Because it's fucking Scarface. Like, come on.
Yeah. It's Scarface. Right? Like, it's Scarface. It's Tony Montana. For God's sakes. Okay, it would have been harder to have made the game. But when GTA decided to recreate a character, a film, Vice City, yeah, Tommy Vercetti wants to be. Why am I blanking? Tony Montana. It's the same guy. It's literally the same guy. It's his story. The ending is there. It's everything you need when you're going to talk gangster. The coming up and the living the American dream the dirty way. Like, he does it all.
Yeah.
Absolutely everything.
It's a proper rags to riches story, but you achieve your riches in the worst possible way. It really is one of the acting performances for the ages. You know, whenever people talk about Pacino, they talk about Michael Corleone, they talk about how good he was in Scent of a Woman. They talk about, you could literally sit here all day and list Pacino movies, to be honest. But the one that will forever stand out for me is Scarface.
Yeah.
He is
likewise. To be fair, Scent of a Woman threw me off. Like, I didn't expect it. Like, he was amazing in that. Like, it's not that I thought Pacino was shit, but I'm used to knowing him to be in like the gangster-esque roles. When I saw this film, I was like, so that it might tip as my favorite Pacino, but Tony Montana is always like, hey, it's Tony. yeah, right. So are we doing people's top 10s first?
Let's do people's top 10s quickly.
Again, guys, now you've got a chance to just write in and drop them in. We will read them. We will go for those now.
I think Den was the first one. So I've got Den's up here. 10, Mr. Big from Live and Let Die. Ordell Roby from Jackie Brown. 8, The Axe Gang in Wang Ya Kiao. Kung Fu Hustle. 7, Valentin Zukovsky in Goldeneye. 6, Auntie Entity, Mad Max 3. Oh, that must be Tina Turner. And 5 was Ma from Dread. I can't see Den's 4 though.
It is there.
Here we go. I got it. 5, Ma from Dread. 4, Alex from Clockwork Orange. My guy, you know. 3, Jabba the Hutt from Star Wars. My guy, you know. 2, Tony Montana from Scarface. And number 1, Don Corleone from The Godfather. Now, if we're talking The Godfather and says Godfather Part 2, and we're saying Don Corleone, I can only assume you mean Vito.
Yeah, I think it's Vito. We're going. The original.
Right, then let me scroll down a bit further. Mixed Memorabilia has got one a little bit lower down.
Did Brandon? Let's go, Brandon. Is he not there?
Brandon, this is the time to drop your top 10 in, bro, if you've got it.
I think he had it. I could be wrong.
Find it while I'm going through Mixed Memorabilia. Mixed Memorabilia says, in at number 10, Training Day. 9, Le Samurai. 8, Rafifi. 7, Romanzo Criminale. 6, A Bittersweet Life, a Korean film. 5, Eastern Promises. 4, Snatch. 3, Mean Streets. 2, Gangs of Waisepor 1 and 2, and number 1, Scarface. Yeah, I hear that all day long. Let me just see if I can find some others, guys. Again, this is the time to drop your top 10s in if you want the shout out and to be read out to. What we got?
Sorry, Declan. Still think Thanos is the biggest gangster.
My top 10 is at 11:24. So right at the beginning. And does Green Street count? If you want it to, sure.
So I've got 11:26 here. I don't. What is it? 11 minutes? 20. That can't be. Because I've got 11:07 here and I don't see it.
This is so good for the people who listen in on podcasts.
And here we are, like, no, it's a good time to write in, guys. Yeah, no, it's
I
not.
know, right? Yeah, sorry, Brandon. I don't see it, mate.
Brandon, I do apologize, but if you could copy and paste, you will most definitely be read out. I'm scrolling them because I do recall seeing your thing, but I don't see it now, which is just weird.
To the rest of you guys, again, this is the time to drop your top 10s in. We will read them out. While we are doing that, though, here's the thing. It's now time to Rushmore this bad boy, right? So I'll repeat what I said on Twitter. I think we do not include the Godfather in this because it's stupid. Because the reason we're doing this Rushmore is because it's going to be put in a poll on Twitter where you can vote for the overall winner. Now, I've learned a few things by doing these polls on Twitter over the course of the last year. There are certain movies that no matter what category they are in, they win. Rocky, Goodfellas, Shawshank Redemption, Die Hard, Jaws, Star Wars. Never put those movies in a poll. They win every time.
Put them against each other, which is coming one day, guys. But
one day. Godfather is in that discussion too. If we put this in, it will trounce everything. And the argument is justifiably so. If that's your opinion, that's fine. But the point is to try and have a bit more of a balanced discourse. So for the sake of having a bit more of a balanced discourse, no Godfather. So I would like to put the other 4 quintessential diverse must-see movies of this genre.
But are we just then giving our number one carte blanche victory? I mean, I could be wrong.
So do you want to put the Godfather and Scarface in there and see the clash of the Titans?
Thank you. Declan said it. Scarface will also win the poll. Like, we have to be real. And by the way, yes, Green Street would count. This is the only way I think it's fair, because to then do a poll that just literally by proxy eliminates everyone else, you can't say what's the greatest gangster minus the greatest movies. It kind of defeats its object.
So Godfather and Scarface are obviously in there.
Yep. I think Jules should have a mention, but I could be wrong. He was much lower for you.
Much.
But then, in saying that, I just feel it'd be awkward to have someone possibly higher in the sense of like Bricktop. Like I think Bricktop would get massive.
Kaiser Soze. Alex DeLarge from Clockwork Orange is notable.
I would love Nino.
Against Pulp Fiction and against Scarface and The Godfather, really? Are you stupid? Do you want another Coach Carter incident?
I wonder what, guys. Now I need you viewers to do this for me. Frank White from King of New York. I would like to see where that falls.
Discuss.
Honestly, I sometimes misunderstand people.
All right. Den says put them both on. We're going to put them both on. The Departed, Pulp Fiction. That's the poll.
Okay, so let's be honest.
I'm happy to put Godfather, Scarface, Pulp Fiction on. That kind of works for me because they're all heavy hitters. But we've already said with The Departed, Frank Costello was real.
Yeah,
that's the issue.
Guys, again, I know there's a bit of a delay, but for anyone who's seen The King of New York, King of New York, I know I apparently like to add the word "the." Frank White.
You do.
I think Frank White would be a good count.
Here's a question for you guys watching now. Please comment down below. Kaiser Soze from The Usual Suspects, Alex DeLarge from Clockwork Orange, or Frank White from King of New York? You get the final pick. Help us out here.
Yeah, that's the remit though, so I don't want no like. But you forgot the Joker.
Well, The Dark Knight.
I mean,
that's another heavy hitter.
Fuck me. Do you know what would be funny
You know
with
what
that?
I mean?
You know what would be funny with that is that you when we first hit it, you were like, he won't make it. Now it's like he's actually a good contender.
Considering how the Twitter pop culture works, so let's go. Brandon says Kaiser Soze. YG's top 10 is number 10, Kaiser Soze from The Usual Suspects. 9, Frank Booth from Blue Velvet. That's a fucking great shout. Forgot about him. Mr. Blonde from Reservoir Dogs. 7, Luciani, un prophète. 6, Michael Corleone from The Godfather. 5, Bricktop. 5, Bricktop from Snatch. 4, Jules from Pulp Fiction. 3, Vincenzo Cocotti from True Romance. 2, Norman Stansfield from Leon. And 1, Tony Montana from Scarface.
See, Vincenzo was another one that crossed my mind because like he was on both our lists.
Don Vincenzo. My top movie would be Gangs of New York. Again, fun fact, Bill the Butcher, real person. Who the hell knew that, right? So let's go. Brandon is saying Kaiser Soze, and Riri is saying Clockwork Orange.
No one has gone flipping King of New York. You guys are killing me. Happens every week.
Toss a coin, AJ. That's what it's going to come down to, a coin toss.
Or True Romance.
Why you do this to me? Why you do this to me? I have a pregnant wife who wants me to come to bed, and you're making this difficult. Why?
That's someone who's both our list. That's why. And like he was pretty high on YG's list. All right, no. But to be fair, we did put it down to 3 people. So in the order it came in was 1, Kaiser Soze, 2, Clockwork Orange. So heads will be Kaiser Soze. I had to pull over King of New York. Oh, fuck you, Dad. Sorry, that came out. That was in my head. King of New York is. I actually really enjoyed it.
Thank you, Dan. That's eliminated that debate. Right. Heads, Kaiser Soze, tails, Clockwork Orange. Do it quickly.
All right. I always do this through good old Google. The flip is taking place. And it is tails. So it is Clockwork
Orange. Okay.
It'd be interesting. I'm always interested to see what happens with good old Kubrick.
He's definitely got his followers out there. There's no doubt about that. Right, let's do the Rushmore. Go through the poll from last week and wrap it up.
That's the one. Okay, are you drumming?
Yes.
Cool.
Ladies and gentlemen, the official movie Mount Rushmore of fictional gangster movies, in no particular order, is
The Godfather.
Our second entry is
Scarface.
Our third entry is
Pulp Fiction.
Our final entry into the movie Mount Rushmore of fictional gangster movies is
Frank White. No, I'm joking. A Clockwork Orange.
Dickhead.
Right. Okay, guys. Thank you very much. Okay, so we're going to do this real quick. We, the Silver Screen Dudes, have taken the absolute 4 must-see films / characters and gangsters. The challenge is now over to you. We've seen the must-see. Now it's on to you guys to pick the Don, El Capitan, El Numero Uno. To quote Highlander, in the end, there can be only one. Right.
And you guys pick it.
How do you do that? All you have to do is head on over to @MovieMT_Rushmore or @MoviePolls4You, who we will be retweeting for this poll. You will pick, you only get that one vote, pick between A Clockwork Orange, Scarface, The Godfather, and Pulp Fiction. One vote, and you will be able to crown the winner. At this point, I will then have to guess, just like last week when our topic was.
Last week, our topic was the best James Bond movie.
And the contenders were
Goldfinger, The Spy Who Loved Me, GoldenEye, and Casino Royale. 488 people voted. We had a few comments, which I will read out. Pisa Kulic says Casino Royale made the changes needed to revitalize the franchise whilst keeping most of what people enjoyed from the earlier films. Not this guy. Den Cook says, I would put Casino, but after your rant, I had to pick the Eye. Yes. because I ranted hard for GoldenEye. Because why? Because it's the best Bond movie.
It's the best. It is the best.
Officer Jimmy has shared a martini shaken, not stirred. So that is the image from Goldfinger there. Ivory Knight at Castle Shore says, it will always be Spy Who Loved Me, the first Bond movie I ever saw when I was 11. Absolutely magical. God, the comments are helping you out here this week, aren't they, AJ? Morgan Page, Mo Page 05 says, I voted GoldenEye, but my man Daniel, he was my first Bond, will always have time for Casino Royale. Let the record show she voted for GoldenEye. Movie Mount, I actually replied to her with the gift from Indiana Jones in the night going, you have chosen wisely. I couldn't resist. Released a pay-per-view cut for The Crow, said, I voted for Goldfinger, but now I wish I voted for The Spy Who Loved Me because genuinely love that film. Goldfinger's fantastic, though my fave Connery Bond is From Russia with Love. License to Kill is by far my fave of the whole series. Listen to the show from last week. License to Kill was high for me. It was my number 4. Bombadil at Bombadil6 shared a gif of, this is, oh no, I thought it was the Niven version. No, it is the Daniel Craig Casino Royale poster. David Bazibasnet shared a gif of Oddjob throwing the hat from Goldfinger. Ali Junaid said GoldenEye. There has been, oh God, that's a Russian Twitter handle, and I don't know how to read. I think it's Cyrilak. I don't know the name of the Russian.
Does it not have a translate button like you would get at the bottom of Instagram?
No, it does not. No, it does not. But it's a gif of Goldfinger. Mark Osborne shared a gif of Jaws ripping the door off of the truck in The Spy Who Loved Me. Sigma 958. This is quite funny. Sigma 9587 put none. The Rock. The movie, The Rock, not the actor. Yeah.
I know, but I was going to say, yes, it has that Bond.
It's technically a James Bond movie. Shaker Maker said, wouldn't have thought the Niven Bond film was so popular. Great music, though, to which I answered, behave. Snoozy Sue shared a gif of Goldfinger. Gary Williams said, you missed out the best James Bond on Her Majesty's Secret Service. Louise Culmer said, out of those, my favorite is Spy Who Loved Me. Comic Book Land said, GoldenEye. And that's the end of the comments. AJ? Super tough this week. Who won? And in at number 4.
In at number 4. Fuck me. I knew this was going to be tough.
So
I've heard a lot of. I knew there's a lot of love. There's a lot of love out there for it, but I know it has some haters as well. Potentially, I'm going to go Casino Royale, and I'm wrong.
No,
I'm right.
No, it's not Casino Royale.
Oh, fuck.
One of the haters right here, by the way, as you know.
Huh?
One of the haters right here, as you know.
I'm going to go for the pain vote then. GoldenEye.
Nope.
Thank fuck. Goldfinger.
Nope.
Okay, Spy Who Loved Me.
Yeah, well done. We got there eventually. Yeah. The Spy Who Loved Me. YG, I've seen your comment. I'm just going to address that in 1 second. The Spy Who Loved Me with 13%. And in at number 3.
Casino Royale.
Nope.
Goldfinger.
Nope.
GoldenEye.
It hurts, innit?
Right,
GoldenEye only got 15% of the vote.
I can see where this vote has gone. Goldfinger's at number 2, Casino Royale's number 1.
Correct.
I don't want to say it's exactly essentially reverse order to what I would have done, but it
kind of is though.
Yeah.
I just swapped the position of Spy Who Loved Me and GoldenEye because GoldenEye should be 1. To answer your question, YG, any upcoming top 10 pods you can reveal? Yes, next week, because I am seeing with my lovely wife, I think this is going to be her last cinema experience before a little baby is born. We are going to see Venom, Let There Be Carnage. So in honor of Venom, Let There Be Carnage, next week, the top 10, we may have a guest for this. Stay tuned for that. We'll let you know in due course.
Potentially 2. You never know.
Potentially 2. But the topic next week will be the top 10 comic book movie villains. And that doesn't mean Marvel. It doesn't just mean MCU. It means everything is good to go. All good.
That's the one. That's the one, guys. Yeah. So that's what you can look out for.
One for the geeks.
Yeah, I had a few people ask me, hey, what's your thoughts on No Time to Die? I'm still doing my Thank you, Dan. Love it. After 1 hour, still here. Yeah, a few people said, well, we don't want to overdo it on the Bond, so you might not see that. And I don't know if I'll have enough time to do Carnage. I've got like christenings and shit this week, which is sadly getting in the way. But yeah, guys, you will see some reactions there. But Nico, keep doing the good. And yeah, we will be back next week, guys. So again, for anyone,
I need to address that one. What will be the first movie you show your child? Oh, it's so tough. That's so tough. That is so tough. If it's an animation, maybe The Land Before Time, because it was the first animation I ever saw. Full movie, maybe Star Wars. Maybe.
All right, guys. Thank you for watching and being with us visually. But if you got some friends like, I could do with a good podcast, now's the time to spread the word, because we're not only online and visual. Some people don't want to see our faces. Some believe we have a face for a radio. So tell them. Catch us on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Castbox, Deezer, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, Podchaser, TuneIn, Stitcher, and Geo7. The place that knocked off Croydon. Got to keep throwing that out.
Home Alone is a good shout. Yeah, maybe.
There's a lot of good stuff that was out there.
There's a lot of stuff to show my kid for the first time.
You know, the other thing is that you never know what comes out in that time. Like, it may be one of our classics. She may be exposed to something fresh. That's just.
I know when she's 15, she's going to see American Pie just so she can understand what boys her age are going through.
I've actually
Education.
talking of that for our WhatsApp group. It will make sense. Like, yeah, Zane, that time's coming. I think we're at that point of, yeah, let's see what you think is funny.
He's there.
Yeah,
he's there.
We're at that point. But
anyway,
guys, thank you very much. We passed the midnight hour, so it's time for us to bid you good night. Anyway, whatever.
So long, farewell. If you just saying good night, that one.
That's the one. Yeah. So long, farewell. That's how it's meant to start. I don't know. Yeah, the tiredness is kicking in. But guys, honestly, we appreciate the building fan base, and we're going to try and be more consistent so you know when you can catch us. The fact that it's late also allows for like international people to join in. So like, Let's go, Brandon. Really appreciate that. So we're gonna, when we done our top 100, don't want to expand too much. We've done it early on our time. It didn't work out. It wouldn't be possible now anyway. But yeah, guys, thanks for it. Thank you, John. Cheers. Yeah, welcome to the
great. Yeah, John, great having you here. Hope it's not a one and done thing. Hope we'll see you back. And everyone, as always, I hope we're going to see you back next week too. So just a quick refresher: Venom 2 review coming this Friday. Dune review coming on Monday. Next Tuesday, probably Tuesday or Wednesday, will be the top 10 comic book movie villains. And I may put another few little James Bond movie things out in the meantime. You never know. Stay tuned to the channel. I may do.
If we are going to go Bond, then I may do No Time to Die, like AJ's point of view, like someone who's just crammed it. We'll never know.
I dare you. I fucking dare you to disagree with me on No Time to Die. I will chastise you.
You know me, I can find a way. But yeah, guys, thank you. Fuck you, Dan. First and last. On that note, we're out, guys. See ya.
Have a good night, everyone. Thank you for joining.
Bye.